We don't need to be a perfectionist. It is not helping us to live our life with a state of satisfaction. So instead, we can do our best in every situation, in any interaction. This is the 24th of the 34 easy ways to create more happiness in our daily life. I am Georgiana, holistic coach at Holistic Life Hub. Of course, it is human, it is in the human nature, this strive to the better, this strive to perfection. But there are two different types of perfection. There is the human, so-called human perfection, which is illusory, which is our ego who comes with such ideas. And then there is the spiritual perfection. When we speak about the so-called human perfection, where the ego drives us after, it's like, the donkey and the carrot. You run after the carrot in front of you, but you'll never reach it. It is futile, it is ephemeral, and it is not constructive, because we will never be satisfied. We will feel frustrated, even angry, and we will push ourselves too hard. We will be critical with ourselves. We will never be happy. There is the other aspect, the other side of the coin, the spiritual perfection. In the holistic system, in all spiritual traditions, there is described the spiritual perfection, which implies that we work on a constant pace daily with ourselves, to improve ourselves, to develop ourselves, to discover who we really are. And when we discover who we really are, we will discover that we are divine beings with the divine essence. And then in this divine essence, in our spirit is perfect in itself. So this is what I call the spiritual perfection, which actually, when we discover who we really are, when we discover our true self, when we awaken our soul, and we are aligned with the true self in us, which is called Atman in the holistic tradition, then we will really feel that exactly as we are perfect. Not the human personality, which needs work, which needs improvement, which needs development, which needs constant practice in order to do some spiritual evolution. But our essence, our spirit, our divine self is perfect in itself. And that will create not just happiness, it will create joy, it will create almost an ecstatic, delicious feeling of, yes, everything it is perfect exactly as it is. And I am perfect exactly as I am in my essence. Again, I am not putting here the idea that I'm perfect as I am in my human ephemeral personality. That I have to work on. So when we shift the perspective, we will also make the transition which will transform our life from the ego, which pushes us to a certain illusory perfection that the ego creates, to living our life from our soul in a state of inner balance, harmony, happiness almost all the time. So forget about human perfection, because that perfection is something that our ego creates. I will take a super banal example. What I consider to be perfect cleaning at home, I am sure that, for example, my beloved doesn't consider it the same. Or if I have some friend coming over and seeing how clean my home is, probably what I consider to be perfect is not perfect for another one, isn't it? So this so-called perfection that our ego creates, an image, a mental image about what perfection is just something ephemeral, it's illusory. It's not connected, it doesn't have so much connection with reality. So instead, we can cultivate a beneficial attitude in which we really want to do our best in the respective activity or situation or interaction with another human being. We put our heart and our soul in it. We do it with responsibility, and we really have this in our consciousness. I really do my best. I will use all my qualities. I will use all my inner resources. I will use my skills. I will use my soul and everything that it is in it to do my best in this activity or in this situation. And then, of course, I will feel content. I will feel at peace. I will feel a state of inner harmony. I will be happy. I will not be criticizing myself. I will not be criticizing others, because I will realize that there is a meaning with everything that takes place. So if that situation was exactly like that, not my perfect, but God's perfect, it has a meaning. I have to learn something from it so that I can grow as a human being, that I can transform, that I can improve. So it's one aspect, self-improvement, self-development, self-evolution, self-transformation, in which on a daily basis I do something. I have a spiritual practice or a self-development practice in which I work with myself to become a better human being every single day. And this imaginary perfection that we run after until we get burnt out, dissatisfied, angry, bitter, and so on, is not worth it. We are not meant to live our life like that. We are meant to live our life in a state of happiness, balance, and harmony. So make the shift from the ego, which pushes us to imaginary perfections in all kinds of situations, activities, and interaction, to living our life from our soul, with love, with good intentions, putting our heart into it, and really having responsibility and doing our best. If you want to know more about how to make this transition from the ego to the soul, I offer you a 3 weeks online course called From the Ego to the Soul, in which you will learn how to get rid of all kinds of unhealthy emotional habits to build instead healthy ones, so that you can really do the shift from the ego, which is from a certain point of view creating all the misery for us, to living from our soul in a state of inner harmony, peace, and happiness. Thank you so much for taking your time to listen to me, and I will see you tomorrow for another short episode about how to create more happiness in our daily life, because we need it and we deserve it. Have a wonderful day. Bye.